Unleashed, next.
Welcome back to Unscrewed. When many Americans think of punk rock, they think of loudness, orange mohawks, and studded leather belts. But perhaps it's more accurate to think of social change. From the punk band NoFX and founder of punkvoter.com, here's Fat Mike Burkett. How you doing, man? Great to have you on the program. First of all, a couple of observations. You're really not all that fat.
Well,
I mean, did you used to have like an obesity problem back when you got this?
No,
this
I don't
nickname?
know. I really don't know how I got the nickname.
It's fat with an F. It's not fat with a PH.
No. Punk rock is with an F.
Spell
words correctly.
Does it mean something different? Fat and punk rock and hip hop?
One's hip hop. I don't know. One's cool and one is just lazy and, you know.
Lazy, drinks a lot of beer.
I can do this trick with my chin, see?
Oh, yeah, you are kind of fat. You're right. So you've been leader of this great punk band, NoFX, since 1983, which is hard to believe because you look very young.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. 20 years.
20 years been doing this band. Have you always been political in your music, even way back in the day, or things sort of changed with political tides?
We have a song called Reagan Sucks, so. that tells our age right there. But
and I hope that you recorded that back then and not recently.
Yeah, it was a while back. Yeah, it was a while back. But no, we've always had political songs. Now we've gotten more political, and now we're politically active. We've never been active before.
Is that common in the punk community, for people who don't know, to have very political music?
Yeah, it is political music.
It is?
Or it used
Really?
to be. Before it got big,
roots?
before it got real big on MTV, and now it's commercialized, it was about politics.
Well, you can't get any more political than what you've done, which is to start a website called punkvoter.com.
Yeah.
What's the story behind your founding the site?
I felt terrible after the 2000 presidential election. I couldn't sleep.
Because you were for Nader, didn't you?
No.
You felt
I
guilty
didn't.
about that.
No, I didn't. But no, it's just I felt terrible, and I felt I had to do something. I had to unite the punk rock scene, and I know so many bands. I know about 200 bands. So I called up Green Day and the Offspring and a million other bands and got them all involved.
You say that the main purpose of the site, I think, from what I've been reading on it, is to enlist the help of young voters out there. You're going for sort of like the 18 to 24-year-old age group, right?
Sure.
Is it just to get them to sign up to vote and get them engaged politically, or is there more of an agenda?
It's more of an agenda. We're an anti-Bush website.
Oh, I see.
Yes, and we don't just encourage kids to vote. We tell them what's going on in this country. We're more like a media site. We're like a news site. Mm-hmm. And we're telling kids things they don't normally hear and they don't see because they don't really read the newspaper, watch the news. And, and we encourage them to vote.
It's interesting. I mean, I do read the newspaper, I do read the news, but I'm also looking at your site and I read things on punkvoter.com that I don't see in the mainstream press. For example, your top story up here tonight is this guy's talking about how George W. Bush's erratic behavior and wide mood swings has the halls of the West Wing buzzing lately as aides privately expressed growing concern over their leader's state of mind.
Wow, interesting story. I haven't read that one yet.
You haven't read that one? So who is writing these stories? If you haven't even read it, I mean, who's doing it?
Well, it just came out today, I think.
This just came out today.
We have a guy named Scott Goodstein. He's in D.C., and he's been working for the Democratic Party for a long time. And he kind of quit doing that and wanted to go more independent. So he puts up stories every day. Mm-hmm. And he usually gets them from the New York Times or AOL News or Indie News, media.com, and I don't know where he got this one.
Have you managed to mobilize a lot of the youth since the inception of the site? Have a lot of kids come to the site and signed up and also registered to vote through your work?
Right, well, a lot of our fans are under 18, but they're out there getting their older brothers and getting their parents and relatives into this movement just by showing them information that we give them. But we're getting an average of 14 million hits a month, which is
pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
that's
good.
A ton of web hits.
It's 500,000 unique visitors a month.
Wow.
So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have
that was our goal, is to get 500,000
so
kids.
You've done it, so now you can stop.
They're not all registered, but they're all into what we're doing, and they're all helping the cause.
How is this different? I mean, I'm remembering back with MTV and their Rock the Vote. How do you guys differentiate yourselves from that?
They're nonpartisan, and we're partisan.
You're definitely very partisan.
I don't like doing politics. I don't like doing interviews. I'd rather be doing a lot of other things.
Are you unhappy to be here
no,
right
this is great, Mark. This is a good time. But really, I'd rather be at the bar, really. So.
Yeah? Well, we do that after the show, Fat Mike, so perhaps you can come over and get loaded with us after, and we'll talk politics and whatnot.
All right.
So it's all
I don't mind
about
talking politics. I don't like doing interviews, and I'd rather not be doing this.
You know what you guys need? You need John Kerry to go on MTV or Arsenio Hall show or this show with a saxophone.
He used to play bass too, I think.
He used to play bass because that's really what galvanized all the support behind Bill Clinton, got the kids behind it, was the saxophone thing, don't you think?
Well, yeah. He should be out there more. He should be doing MTV stuff. He should be talking to the kids, and he's not. I don't think he's talking to anybody.
Let's get him on Arsenio.
Yeah.
So, what are you specifically trying to get across to all the kids who might be watching this, who might log on to your site? What is the #1 thing that they need to go in order to change this country?
The #1 thing, what can they do?
Yeah, what can they do?
I think it's grassroots. I think it's just convincing 5 people that you know to vote and to vote responsibly. I mean, you can't put a bumper sticker. You can't carry a flag around or a sign. You have to talk to people. You have to make relationships, and that's how we're doing it. I'm playing a lot of shows, and I'm talking to kids. I'm sitting at our booth, and I talk to kids instead of just playing for them, and they appreciate that, and they feel that once they've met someone, there's a connection, and I'll listen to what you have to say. I know you, and I'll watch your DVD. So it's really grassroots. It's really small, really, but.
Well, it's a really interesting site. It's not really pro-Kerry, from what I can gather. It's not even really pro-Nader. It's just really, really, really anti-Bush. Get him out of the office.
Yeah, well, yes. We can't say that, but well, someone has to do this.
Someone does have to do it, and
everyone has to. A painter has to get the painters union together. I had to get punk rockers together.
Well, a lot of people really appreciate what you're doing. Fat Mike, I really appreciate your coming on the show and telling me about it. Fat Mike from No Effect. You got to check out more. Learn all about it at the website, punkvoter.com. All right, stick around. We've got big time TNA right after the break. Yeah, there it is.